and made my life very easy. So he would definitely be missed. I made a film called God Money, and Strife wrote a song for the soundtrack. And the film stars Rick Rodney, the singer of Strife, and we shot 2 videos, one for a song called Blistered, and this video here for the song Untitled, which is off the God Money soundtrack. That's available on V2 Records. And it was, the song was a departure for Strife, but they loved it. They loved really sort of going somewhere completely different. Bob Marlette produced this song, just a harder edge, and just allowed Rick Rodney to sort of experiment, vocally, and do something different that he's not used to doing, and love it because people really respond to this song. They go, "Oh, it's one of my favorite Strife songs," or and so. In this video, I think definitely captures sort of the eeriness of it. I mean, sometimes I can go from doing a real fun sort of really punk rock video to really exploring the talents of my crew and someone like Derek Dale, my cinematographer, and saying I want to shoot something dark, something edgy, something that just cinematically is beautiful. And these images just blow my mind. So. It's not so much a style thing that I can switch styles. I think the most important thing for a director, especially a music video director, in my opinion, is to be able to shoot videos that reflect the band at whatever stage they are at in their life at that point in time, and don't just take a particular style and put it on a band, but see what the band is and what sort of images and feelings are coming from the band and the song, or just who they are, and then try to make a video around that. And with this song, it was dark, it was angry, it was about alienation, and I think we really hit it. I really think it just works. I sent Derek Dale and Rick Rodney, along with Shuji Kobayashi, an amazing still photographer, to go shoot all that insert footage of the blood and the syringes and the guns and the bullets and the American flag and all that stuff. They shot that on a separate day, and just spent a whole day all sort of collectively putting these images together and shooting them. So these videos aren't just about myself or Ken Dario. They're about an entire crew that's able to work with each other and work off of one another. I'm able to shoot all this stuff and then say, okay, you guys, this is what I want, go for it, and then I can get the footage back and it looks like it does, and it's great. It was great to have Rick Rodney that close to the camera where he can't move around much. He's forced to sort of explode in the space that he's in. And most times if you've seen Strife live, or if you see photos, they're all over the place. They don't stand. They're definitely not a stationary band. And Rick has so much energy, maybe one of the best performers I've ever seen live. And so to be able to stick him in one place and say, explode, but explode right here. Don't move your feet. Just sort of, it's like, it really is like this stationary explosion. I mean, that's an oxymoron, I guess, but that's just sort of how it feels to me, is that all this energy is in one zone. Amendment 18. Amendment 18 is made up of ex-members of a bunch of bands, but that's really not that important. Just straight up hardcore. Love what these guys do, and I just gotten back from shooting 2 videos, and so we had a little bit of film left, and we still had the cameras and the equipment, and we just went into this little rehearsal space and shot maybe 4 takes of them performing, and then walked around different areas. And Isaac, the singer, had this idea, this concept about this sort of just this roaming individual who is searching for something, who is, to me, I always felt like he had been abandoned by his father, and it's almost like he is trying to find his father. He's got this image or something that represents what he's looking for, and he's going to the world and he's saying, have you seen this? And you know, again, I think in making music videos, it can be very simple sometimes. As a formula, this is if you look at the band stuff, I've only got, I think, 4 angles. I've got straight on here, side on the guitar, side on the bass player from the other angle, and then a separate shot on the drummer. And then within 100 yards, all these exterior locations are right around the rehearsal studio. So we just went and shot this stuff and walked right in the middle of traffic and stopped traffic. And that shot was a little crazy. I don't recommend that, but the actor was willing to do it. And here I'm just shaking the camera. I mean, it's a technique that I love doing. I think it really gets you in to, especially a heavy punk rock song. It's sort of like being there. It's almost like you're in the crowd and you're participating in it. Another scene from 42K. That is Ken DAURIO, the man himself. Truly a genius. And the idea behind Ken's character there is he is a ninja caddy. And the ninja caddy assists the ninjas, much like a golf caddy would. He gives recommendations on weapons. He gives distance references. He gives moral support. Carries your weapons. And the 2 ninjas there are actually real ninjas. It's actually Mark Russo on the right. On the left there, that is Matt Woodard. And those, you know, we have sort of a funny scene here, but we were really lucky that because these are truly 2 of the best ninjas in the world. And they came out, Mark Russo there came out from Florida to be in it. So, and this is another wacky scene from 42K. And to me, what makes it really fun is just keep watching Ken DAURIO in the back there as the ninja caddy. He improvs everything, all these comments, all these lines. In the movie, he is definitely probably my favorite part of 42K. And again, some of these lines here just completely kill me. And you've got, I mean, again, Ken, you know, he can just jump into a character and he just becomes it. He can truly make you believe that he thinks he is a ninja caddy. And these moves in the background, like that right there, he's just going for it. And what's so hard when you're filming scenes like this, you've got these 2 ninjas who are doing these routines, going through these stunts, and they've got to be very careful. And they're trying so hard not to laugh because Ken is constantly making comments in the back. Once again, in front of my father's house. This is a nighttime exterior of my father's house. So I'll always point out when we're in front of my father, Bill Doane's house. My father also produces a lot of stuff with me, most of my stuff. So learned a lot from my father in regards to filmmaking in general. He's had 30 years experience in special effects and second unit directing, so I was able to learn a lot. Blink 182, trying to make a video. So true. I got a phone call from Blink 182, much in the same way with AFI. They had known my work with Pennywise, and they said, hey, we want to make a video. The label's got some money. I think they had like, you know, $6,000 or $7,000. I want to say 7,000, or maybe it was 5,000. And you know, I think of Blink. You know, at this point they've sold 4 or 5 million records, and you know, watching this footage is really special. This is the first time they'd ever shot a video, and it's, to me, it's really magical to watch sort of how we put this together. I mean, it really it doesn't change much from this, with the exception of when you go to major labels, there's a lot more politics and a lot more money being spent, a lot more pressure. But this is shown up. We're in Mark's house where he grew up here, or he was living at the time, and just brought our crew and just went for it. And they brought their friends down. We went to a casting agency and got these 3 beautiful women to be in the video. And you know, watching Blink, it's interesting because watching this footage and then say watching the other night I watched MTV Diary or MTV Blink 182 making you know, some probably $1 million video or something. And the one thing I have to say for Blink is these guys have not changed, with the exception of there's been a drummer change. That's Scott on the right, who's no longer in the band. But they haven't changed. I mean, the same attitude you see here, and then the same, you know, joking around, and the same just, you know, these guys truly just want to have a good time, and that's how they still are. When I watch them now on MTV, it's the exact same Blink that I remember. And you know, they were gracious enough after this video to bring me back for 2 more, to do the Damn It video and then to do the Josie video. And they're just great guys. I mean, we met at this Arby's in Huntington Beach because they were coming from San Diego and I was coming from you know, Ventura County. and we meet, and they said, hey, we just want to have a good time. We want to joke around. If there's some way we could just get some guns in the video and some hot girls. That was the only criteria. And I said, cool. And I said, if you make that happen, just show up and tell us what to do. And we showed up with a bunch of guns and a bunch of pretty girls, and they just let us do whatever we wanted. And you know, my father came down as a special effects, and we squibbed him up, and we, you know, shot him, and you know, really, just really fun. I mean, we're in the back of a club called Soma down in San Diego, and you know, everyone just let us come down and shoot, and just was just super supportive. And you know, Blink hadn't sold that many records, you know, at this point. They were basically an unknown band, but again, they just wanted to have fun, and they were going to ride this pop punk thing as far as they could. And you know, they're sort of the Jim Carreys of punk rock, and they enjoyed every minute making this video. And that's sort of my memory of working with Blink at this point, was just a bunch of kids that want to have a good time, and that, you know, I could be stupid with, and they really got it. So I think we really bonded on that level of just being stupid and wacky. I mean, look at Tom here doing, you know, a spin with the gun and a little, you know, moonwalk there. It's just hilarious. And to me, that was always the challenge with Blink after this video, is they have so many funny ideas. It's about trying to figure out how to wrangle that humor and make it something that'll fit into a, you know, 2 or 3 minute music video. But these guys work hard, man. I mean, you know, they're definitely not slackers. And from, you know, 5 years ago or 6 years ago now, gosh, maybe it was 7 years ago when this was. You know, it's really an amazing thing that these kids who wrote a bunch of funny songs about poop and girlfriends and breaking up and just dumb stuff like that, who wanted to be on surf videos and would years later be one of the biggest bands in the world. And that's inspiring to me, and I think it should be inspiring to anybody who actually wants to see an example of a band that didn't sell out. I mean, Blink wanted to have a good time, you know, and they wanted to write funny songs. And they've not changed one bit. Their videos are still funny, they're still outrageous. And so, you know, I think Blink's got to be given a lot of credit, especially if you know the stories that these guys went on tour with every band, worked their butts off, got beat up by Pennywise, got beat up by everyone, got fire extinguishers unleashed in their hotel rooms, they got hot sauce squirted in their eyes, they got electric shock treatments given by Fletcher from Pennywise. I think they deserve all the success that they've got now. Value pack. This was a quick one. This was, and it's great because we didn't have much time. We had half a day to shoot this video. We went to this guy Sid's house where he does tattoos and has a little house right there on the property as well, and just got a bunch of people together and just went ballistic. Went nuts in the room, went nuts in the backyard, went nuts in this pool, just grabbed the camera, ran around, just overexposed the film, made it just super saturated, really colorful, and just went for it. I mean, this is, again, anyone can do this. If you've got a band that wants to give 110%, it's not a very difficult thing to do. I'm just shooting crazy zooms at one location, and then I'm doing just a wide-angle lens in another room, and then we had them all go crazy and just jump in the pool and kind of just have this sort of pool fight thing, something, I don't know what it was, but just to sort of intercut throughout the song, and it just represents sort of just a crazy summer day where you're just jamming tunes, having a good time, hanging out, having a dog chase you, whatever. And it was awesome. I remember that there's a couch that they're jumping on in the background there, and I think the couch got really destroyed, and I don't know if Sid ever got a reimbursement check for that couch, but I know he was looking for it at one point. And the only thing kind of, you know, already in this whole video is during the guitar lead I just had, I wanted to play it backwards. So you've got this whole backwards scene here during the lead, and I just had him smash a guitar with a bunch of people around him jumping in, and we just figured out that we would play it backwards, that when the lead ends, everyone would be jumping out of the pool right there, boom, 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 there, and then he finishes the lead. And I mean, it's so simple. It's just a little, backwards scene, but it's funny you do something like that because you just sort of have this instinct when you first start making films, like, oh, let's have a backwards scene because that would look interesting, and you don't second guess yourself. You sort of go for it, and the video gets done, and people go, hey, I love that backwards scene, and you go, yeah, it's pretty simple, and that's all people want to talk about is the backwards scene. But I think that's filmmaking. People pick up on the simple stuff. So that is Punk Rock Show Volume 1, and there's going to be Punk Rock Show Volume 2 called Chaos Control, and thank you very much for listening. I'm Darren Doane. The end.